you're new to pump, good for you, man. Taking a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned, definitely making sure that that skill is what matters. Now, of course, all good paintball players, they're going to make that first ball count. Pump players really don't have a choice. They got to make the first ball count. So that's what unifies all paintball players, in my opinion. First ball on target. Pump, just make sure it's that way. You don't have 10 behind it. All the good semi players and electro players that I know, man, you give them a half inch, they're going to put you in the dead box. The pump will force you to train that way. So, one of the things I want to talk to you about, being new to pump, is getting good quality paint. There's another video that I'm linking you to right now in the upper left-hand corner, which talks about sizing your paint, but I want to make sure you're getting good quality paint. Now, I just happen to have some really crappy paint right here, and it's not crappy because it's its fault. It's how I treated it. I didn't take care of it, so it's got dimples. Look at this one. When it doesn't roll, you know you have a dimple. And they're very different sized, okay? Now, in a semi, this is going to matter in a semi too. Crap paint's crap paint. But as long as it's not blown up in your barrel and you've got 10 balls behind it and the guy's running through your stream, hey man, one of them's going to hit him. In a pump gun, you need to drive tacks with your paint, man. You need paint to stack one on top of the other, and you need to hit people in the face or wherever you can hit them the first time. They're going to duck back in, and if they're shooting a semi back at you, which quite often is what the deal is, pumps versus semis, you know, they're going to put you back in your bunker and punish you. So you need to get them off the field as fast as possible. Now, what do I mean by bad paint? You know, these dimples and stuff might not look like they're detrimental, but what's funny is how that ball hits your insert depends on whether it falls through or gets hung up. So if you got crappy paint and the ball drops in like that, you just have an increase in velocity. There's more pressure behind it. It has to have more of a pop to get it out. If it happens to roll in like that, it just fell on the ground. You know? So high quality paint really matters to the pump player. Spend that extra couple of bucks. And you know what I do, man? I go and ask. The field owner if I can trust them. If it's a field, I don't mean that field owners aren't trustworthy. If I know them for a while, I will talk to the other pump players. Hey man, what are you shooting? Especially if it's field plane only. Because what you might find is the more expensive stuff isn't the better stuff that day. You know, sometimes you might say, hey, you know, Formula 13's shooting great. Leave that evil alone. It must have been not rotated very well. Okay? Now, once you get good paint, how do you take care of good paint? I am anal with my paint because I know it's the difference between, you know, shooting a guy and not shooting a guy most times. Well, one of the things I do is I try to keep my paint as away from the elements as possible. So I take my paint after I've opened the bag out of the bag and I put it in a Ziploc, usually a double sealer Ziploc, right? I want to make sure that I'm keeping it out of the elements. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it stays dry. And what I mean by that is not, you know, of course, you're not going to submerge it in water and hope it gets, you know, whatever. But in Houston, it's fairly humid at all times. You do not want that humidity getting to your paint. It swells it, okay? And it swells it unevenly depending on where it's in the bag. So I'm going to keep this bag in the paint box that it came in, and I'm going to put it in my closet where it's climate controlled inside. I'm not going to leave it out in the garage, especially not in Houston, okay? Now in California, you might be able to get away with that. You know, it's dry all the time there. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my paint. See, these flat spots are caused by one paintball sitting against another paintball. Look at that thing wobbling around. Sitting against another paintball and causing that flat spot to happen. But if every day or so you turn the box over, right, that this paint is in, it hits a different spot, and doesn't allow this gelatin to gain flat spots like that. I know a guy who puts his box of paint on his stairs going downstairs. Every morning before he goes to work or school, he rotates it down one stair. When he gets to the bottom, puts it back up at the top. He has good fresh paint. I'm going to keep it dry. And in one other way, I'm going to get those little baggies, those little, I think it's decatescent, I can never pronounce that, but the little bags that come in shoe boxes and things like that that take moisture out of the air, I'm going to drop that in my paint box at home and leave that with it. It's going to pull all that moisture out of the air and make sure that it's going to be good to go. Now when I put my paint in the bag, I'm not going to put 8 tons of it in there and barely be able to seal it. I don't want that to be just rammed full. I want it to have a lot of room to move so that when I rotate it, it moves around. But not so much air, right, that it's just sitting in air and whatever moisture was trapped in there is trapped in there. I'm going to put it in there and make it fairly tight. seal it off, and then leave it, you know, if that were a full bag, in my box in the closet, getting ready to play with for the next time. Also, when I get out to the field, if it's shooting like crap, don't struggle, don't fight, go find paint that works. You know, I also find sometimes when I got bad paint at the field one time, if I go take care of it in the garage, in the closet, it might shoot better next time. So definitely take care of your paint. Always be asking, hey, what size is that paint? Is it breaking all right? What color is it breaking? You know, are you guys having trouble with barrel breaks? You know, it's a lot more important when you only have one ball out there to make sure that that paint is going out and on target with the first ball than it is when you've got 10 behind it. Although the top end semi and electro players that I know, they're just as anal with their paint too, man. They just have more of it to be anal with. So, all right. That's it for today. I'll catch up with you a few more. And again, remember, you're not new to pump. You know, you're not a newbie. You're part of a new community. And we welcome you to that community, and we want to help you. Just get out there, man. Get out there and play, and you'll notice other pumpers will come up to you. Talk to you later.